If you've been shopping around for life insurance, you may have seen some riders or additional terms added on to some policies that you're looking at that might be a little bit confusing. Specifically, maybe the accidental death or dismemberment benefit, which sounds really scary, but it doesn't have to be. By the end of this video, you're going to have a much better understanding of what it is and if it is something that you should be looking at. My name is Jake Williams, and I'm a life insurance specialist with Step Up Wealth Management. For more information on life insurance policies, the riders that can be attached to them, and how they can fit into a comprehensive financial plan built and tailored for you, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. That way you are notified immediately anytime I upload new videos. So the name is scary, an accidental death and dismemberment rider. But if it's something that were to happen, the rider is something that could be incredibly beneficial to you and your family. So what it is the accidental death and dismemberment rider is a rider. It's an additional aspect that can get added on to a life insurance policy that can increase the payout in the event that your death were to happen from some sort of accident. A lot of times the rider will specifically state out what it considers accidental versus not accidental, but that is something that you need to check out for the individual policy that you're looking at, because those are so hyper specific. I don't want to give you information right now because that can be completely different than what you're seeing. But a lot of times what it does is it will pay out some sort of multiple of the death benefit if your death were caused by an accident. So say it was a car accident, and the life insurance policy you have this rider, and the life insurance policy and the company does determine that it was an accidental death. Your death benefit would be multiplied. A lot of times that multiple is just a 2 times multiplier, so your family would get double the death benefit. It's not always 2 times, and it's not always a multiple, so you need to look at the individual rider on the specific policy that you're looking at. But generally, that is what I typically see, is a double payment amount if the death were to happen from some sort of accident. Now, to pay for this, it does increase the premium. So it is something that is going to cost you more, but if you are in some sort of work or hobby where an accidental death is something that is a very real possibility, this is a way that you could get an increased payout for less than it would be to, say, buy a term policy that is double the policy that you're looking at. So, for example, if you have a $100,000 term life insurance policy with an accidental death rider, and you do die in an accident, the payout to your family would be $200,000, and you would be paying less, typically, than what you would be paying if you bought a $200,000 term policy. I hope that makes sense. So really, like I already mentioned, it is worth it for individuals for whom an accidental death is a real possibility. So whether you're someone that spends a lot of time on the road and you're worried about car accidents, or you work in a particularly hazardous field, those kinds of things are things you would want to consider. If you work from home or you don't spend a lot of time on the road, it may not be worth the money for you. That is for you to decide. If you're unsure of it, sit down with a professional and talk, because those are the people that are going to have the best understanding of what these riders are and if it's worth it to you or not. Now, some other things that could go with this accidental death rider, sometimes it's considered an accidental death and dismemberment rider. So if you were to lose a limb or eyesight due to an accident, you may be able to get some sort of payout from your life insurance policy, depending on what the rider states. And that, again, is something that is going to be specific to the individual rider and the individual company and the individual policy that you sign up for. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing, but some policies out there do include dismemberment in there. And they will have a table laid out. It sounds gruesome, but it's the math that they have to run of if you were to lose an arm, how much of a payout would you get from that? Or if you were to lose a leg, what sort of payout would you receive. A lot of times those may be some sort of a fraction of the full death benefit. Could be a quarter, could be a half. It's going to depend on the policy and your individual rider. So let's recap. Accidental death and dismemberment rider can pay out and increase the payout if your death or dismemberment were to happen from an accident. It is going to cost you more on your premium payments to get this rider. But if you work in a field or you have a hobby in which these kinds of things could happen, it can be worth it there. For some people, it may not be worth it, but the best thing to do is to sit down with a professional and talk about it. If you've heard of other riders that you want to find out more about, drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have questions on, and I can turn those into videos in the future. I have a list of riders that I'm going to be doing some videos on, and those will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. But if there's one that you specifically want to hear about, drop me a comment below so I know and I can get that one working. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like what I'm doing. It's great for me to get that kind of feedback, and it really helps. And most importantly, if you want to sit down and figure out if this rider or that term life insurance policy or anything else is right for you and your individual plan, there is a link in the description below where you can apply to become my client. Please check it out and let me know what you think. Remember, take care of your now, your future, and beyond.